It's easy to get lost in the sea of tools out there. But one of the tools that the contracting business can't thrive without is a customer relationship management tool, CRM for short. This tool can help streamline your business processes. It'll improve communication with your prospects, enhance their satisfaction, and ultimately boost your revenue. So, in short, if you want to make bank, you need to make the relationship part of customer relationship work, right? That's what a CRM is all about, relationships. Hi, I'm Eddie, the CEO of Contracting Empire. Our vision here at Contracting Empire is to provide contractors with systems that radically advance their business and life, create a life of freedom and generational wealth for their families and communities. We do that through branding, website systems, SEO, and ads. It's all about the long-term game for us because when you make more money, you stay with us on for longer and we make more money. It's basically a win-win for everybody. Now, this particular CRM that I've built is something that I call a foundational CRM. You can expand on it, you can make it simpler, whatever suits your business level. Our team used the Google Sheet CRM to manage $3 million worth of work before upgrading to a paid CRM. And we have clients tracking millions using Google Sheets. So it works. Here are some amazing benefits that come along with it. First up, it won't cost you a dime because it's absolutely free. It's simple and straightforward. Adding complexity early on is a killer for any business. It has a very quick learning curve. In like 5 minutes, you can figure it out. I'll actually show you how to use it in this video. Want to share it with your team? No problem. It syncs across all devices for a seamless collaboration. You can make it your own with customizable options. It creates the foundation for understanding what data matters to you. And it'll show you a brief overview of business vitals as well as the return on investment for your marketing efforts. All in all, the biggest win you'll get is creating a habit of tracking your leads and your interactions with them. It's a game changer. Life's about to get a whole lot easier. Here's a very important note. You have to be consistent with your input, otherwise the data is going to be trash, and you need good data to make good decisions. Now, this CRM is mostly for managing leads and basic marketing tracking and has a simple to understand dashboard. If you're making below $1 million, I strongly suggest you use a Google Sheet CRM before moving on to a paid solution. Not only will you save a lot of money, you'll get consistency, you'll have a clear flow, and you'll know how you want that relationship with your prospects to work. All right, let's take a look at how to use the CRM. All right, welcome. So you can access the tool if you go to contractingempire.com/free-CRM. So if you scroll down a little bit, you will see this is basically going to play the same video that you're watching right now. And then you have two options, right? Download your empty CRM or download the CRM with sample data. For our demonstration purposes right now, we're just going to make a copy of the CRM with the sample data. This is going to pull up the screen. So all we have to do is just make a copy and we're good to go. Now the same process, right? For you, I recommend to just make a copy of the empty CRM and you're good to go. But I will show you the one with the data so you can kind of go over it and see what's up. So you're going to be first greeted by and let me move myself out of the way. You will be first greeted by the dashboard, right? So here you'll see at a glance, total revenue sold to date, average revenue per job, what is the average close time, right, in days, total leads to date, total consults, basically in-home appointments, and total close date. You also have a breakdown of all of your top 3 services. This is very good to see in case you want to specialize or you want to kind of see what is 80-20 rule in your services. How does that breakdown look like? Then we have close rates, right? So between lead to consult, how many of those, how many leads ended up into a consult, and then how many of those consults closed, right? How many closed, right? So consult to close ratio, and then how many leads actually closed, right? So what is the lead to close ratio? So very good information to see, so you can see where you need to improve your processes, right? For example, if you're booking a lot of appointments, and that means that it's great, right? So it means that you're going there, but then, if your number of appointments is high, but then the in-home close rate is very small, then there's a problem, right? Also, if you book too few appointments, right, but then your close rate is high, that isn't very helpful either, right? So it's always good to look at the data and
see what is the best option for you and your business, right? How do you want to create your sales processes? I will make a video later down the road on actually how to do this, right? How much should you pre-qualify leads, and how you should be actually getting higher close rates, right? Then you can also see how many leads need urgent action. So these are basically the new leads, and how many leads are in follow-up. So these leads have to be followed up immediately, and a little bit of marketing data for if you want a little bit more control over your marketing, is you'll see your top 5 lead sources and basically how many leads came in from each lead source and what was the cost per each lead. Now, let's dive into the options first, right? So this lead manager is very, very customizable, right? So you can customize the services that you offer, the lead source, the lead stages, and the actions that you're taking, that you need to take with the prospects, as well as actually obviously the company name, right? So if I change Contracting Empire, and I actually put an emoji here so you can add one for yourself, the one that you like the most. So we can put here your business, and now you can directly see that the dashboard has changed, right? It's going to say your business here. So I think the most important ones that you shouldn't touch are closed, lost, and closed won, especially closed won, because that is going to affect the dashboard. But read this, feel free to read these notes. They may offer some insights there. So let's look at the leads right now. So this is the place where you add in leads to the system, right? So this is when somebody calls you or somebody comes from the website. Basically, you want to add one entry line here. And you will see the header of the table, right? In some cases, it's a light blue, and in some cases, it's a dark blue. Basically, the dark blue you don't have to touch. That is data that is being imported from other places, in this case, the interactions sheet. And I will show you that in a second. So basically, what you want to add in, right, is the intake date, contact name, phone number, email, what's the lead stage, right? If it's a new lead, it's just going to be new lead. Then the lead source, you will probably get this by having a phone conversation with them. I don't recommend having it specified on the website. There's no point in complicating your website form with having a lead source when you're going to have that conversation about that over the phone, right? You can just ask, hey, Mary, would you mind telling me where you found out about us? And they're going to tell you basically what was the lead source, in case you don't have more complicated attribution systems in your business right now. Then the service that they are interested in, and some general notes that you want to take. I'm going to get to these in a sec, but we also have a calculated days to close for each job, and that basically calculates the date between the last action date and the intake date. Then the deal size, address, city, state, zip. Obviously, you want to add these in right at the first call when you set the appointment, so you know exactly where you're going out to. By design, even if the lead isn't a fit, I would still collect this information in case you want to send them, a physical mailer down the road or whatever, right? It's going to be a really good information to have. So I would definitely do all the due diligence, so this is exactly on point. We also have, for example, a client that is more visual. So what he is doing is whenever, based on the lead stage, I can't select it because of my recorder here, but basically what he does is he just color codes rows based on right. So let's say that this is a no opportunity, so he would set them to gray or whatnot. So that's also cool to do. What I recommend doing, right, if you have no opportunity, you just right click on it and you just select hide row, and that's going to hide the lead completely. So either spam or no opportunity, you can just hide them, just to keep this lead flow as simple as possible. Let's talk a little bit about interactions, right? So once you put the lead into the system, now you're going to start interacting with that lead, right? So you want to go to the interactions sheet. What's going to happen is this dropdown is going to populate with all of the leads that are active in the process, right? So basically those will automatically populate here, right? So you can just select, let's say Prosper Scarlett. We put her here, and let's say that the lead intake was today. So today is May 1st. So basically the first interaction, right? So the first interaction was that we got the lead in. So now we want to both call them and either call them and leave them a text in case in case it didn't pick up, right? So first I'm just gonna set this to call, and I'm gonna call. Right now, if Scarlett isn't going to pick up the phone, then I'm also going to text, and I'm gonna leave a note here that person didn't reply, send a text. And also I'm going to add in here a note for myself to actually follow up with this person. And apparently I don't have it here. I only have it in this place right here, but I think it's good if we can make it an interaction here. So all we have to do, right, let's just we can just move these down, and we can add follow-up here. It's all good. Basically we go to interactions, and now we will have the follow-up option here. All right, so when do we need to follow up? Well, we're gonna call them back tomorrow. Oops, there we go. So I just copied and pasted, Control-C, Control-V on Windows, and pasted it in. So now when we go back to the leads, basically what you'll see that what happened is that you can see what were the last actions and what was the last action, and what is going to be the next action date, and the next action, what's the note that you actually left here. So really, really cool, right? Basically it ports over that information directly to your lead sheet. So let's say that now we call her back tomorrow, right? And you can also start typing, and it's going to autofill it for you. And then we call again. So now she called, and we can take some notes, right? So interested in bath remodel, set an appointment. Right, so we can obviously take more notes, and I highly encourage you to write more things down. Now, for the purpose of cutting down this tutorial, I made it just shorter. And now basically what you need to do is, set an appointment, and the in-house visit is going to be, maybe you set it for Thursday. So that's basically it. And now when we go back to leads, you will see that now basically the last action was a call, and the next action date is going to be on Thursday, and it's going to be a in-home visit, and you have all the insights that you need on that interaction, right? So it always updates to the latest interactions that are happening, so you can see at a glance. Now I have a smaller screen, but if you've got a bigger screen, or I even zoom out, you'll be able to just capture the whole thing and see at a glance where all the leads and how things are evolving. So that is really, really cool, right? You can also move these columns around, so it's easier for you, right? So for example, if you want to move lead source more to the end, that is fine, right? You can just easily move the lead source before deal size, or after it, and then you've got more space, and you know exactly what's happening. So very, very flexible, right? You can see more information. Right, and general notes, these do not port over. These are only for the leads sheet. So this is basically how it works. Now let's go into a little bit more advanced stuff. So in the interactions one, let's say that we only want all the interactions that you had with Edward Boka, right? So conveniently enough, we have here a view created for you. So you can go to data and filter views and filter all interactions. So now this is going to give us this little gray border, and you can go now here, and I want to clear all of the people except Edward Boka. And now you can actually see at a glance what were all the steps and what happened basically with that lead. So whenever you need to figure out what happened in the past with one of the leads, you can actually get a really good history of what happened and what was the process and what made you actually close that lead, right? Or what made you lose that lead? What part of the process? Where did things go right? Where did things go wrong, right? So you can actually learn from the process. So it's very, very easy, right? If we select the Scarlett person, you can see that basically the two entries that we added are here, right? So very, very easy to work with this. One note you can see here that, for example, like Jane Doe is showing up with red and she's saying that it's invalid. That's why basically I'm removing the person. If there's no opportunity, they basically get removed from the autofiller, right? So if I try to type in Jane Doe, she will not be here, right? Because there's no point, basically it's a no opportunity lead. So there's really no point in actually taking her and moving her over. But you did have interactions with her, so that's that, right? If you want, now for leads, if you want to simplify it, let me see if I can zoom in to bypass the Loom recorder. Let's say that this is no opportunity. So all you can do is just right click here in the header in row 5 in this case, and just hide row, right? So if you want to simplify, just right click, hide row, right? So very, very easy to make this yours, right? To just keep on all of the important people that you need to have interactions with, right? So you can hide rows. Obviously here, for your convenience, we also have another filter view. So it's called filter all leads. So now you can start filtering leads based on lead stage, or basically whatever information based on service or whatever you want. So let's say that we only want to see who were the leads that closed. Now we can see that it was Edward Boka and Mary Stewart, right? Or let's say that we want to see, based on service, what's happening with kitchen remodels. Well, we had 4 leads for kitchen remodels. So very, very quickly you can look at data and make really good and informed decisions, because now you have all the actions that happened lately on there. What was the last action? Where did they drop off or not? What made them, go to the next level with you? So very, very simple, very, very easy to work with. Let me tell you a little bit about the marketing dashboard here. So here, basically you want to put, so let's say that you're investing in Google Organic, right? So you've been for Google Organic, so SEO and local SEO. And let's say that you signed up for the service on February 1st. So basically it's always going to, whenever there's the first of the month, it's going to consider a full month. So if we have February, March, April, May, so basically we have 4 months, even if May isn't there yet, we have 4 months basically paid at 2K. So if we got a total of 9 leads basically from Google Organic, because we told it that, hey, the lead source was Google Organic for all of those scenarios, we can see that our cost per lead was $889. Now you may be saying, obviously this data is skewed and it may not reflect reality, but at the end of the day, if from 9 leads that came in at even 900 a pop, you made 100K, I would say that's a pretty damn good deal. So this is it in terms of how you can use it. And basically all of the dashboard is pre-calculated for you. So you don't have to touch it. You don't have to do anything. Let's say that if Scarlett actually closes, right? Let's say that she's closed 1. You can now see that we had total leads is the same, right? Now we had 3 consults and 3 people closed, right? So if we actually now added a job value to this one, so let's say that Scarlett was a 40K job. Now it is automatically going to also calculate, right? We have more revenue sold. This is the average revenue per job. And we have the close time, right? If I actually created the interaction for the close time. So let me just write this down. Let's say that on the 4th, we closed her, right? So we went for the in-home visit. 1 call close in home for 40K, right? And then basically you can either move it to production now or end the process, right? So whatever the option is, maybe you will have 2 steps, right? First is going to be moved to production, and then basically what you need to do is then create another entry in the interactions where you say end. You can make as many or as little. I think it's a little bit of overkill of how many interactions we have here, but it is your call, right? The secret is to simplify it as much as possible and not overcomplicate it as much as possible. I just gave you the options, so it's just easier to cut through it. And now you can see, right, that basically we had 4 consults and we closed 3. So it's really, really cool. Yeah, I think that is about it. I think there are so many things, right? Filter views, like this is such a powerful and amazing tool, especially if you use it and you fill out all of these things. It is going to serve you so well. It is really, really scary. Going back to the services, right? Let's say that uh, obviously you are going to start out with an empty sheet, so it's going to be easier because right now I'm going to get some red flags, and you'll see that in a second. But if I put here deck building, deck repair, and other, and I'm just gonna delete these. So let's say I'm a deck builder now. If I go to dashboard, right, I can still see that bathroom and kitchen remodel are still my biggest drivers because they are still listed here. Although they show up as red, now I can't select those anymore as options, but I can select deck building. So the idea is that even if you want to transition your services, even if you sunset a service, it's not a problem. Basically, all of your lead information is going to still be there, but now you have even more insights, and you can make you can even look right at the past leads and kind of see how your business has evolved. How much have you specialized in all of those things? Even for us, right, we could do all of the services under the sun, but at the end of the day, we just stick to the core four that we do, and we really do an amazing job at them. All right, so that's about it. I hope you will enjoy using the tool. It is one of the most powerful tools that you can use in your contracting business, if not the most powerful tool. The ability to actually track your leads, see where they are in the process, and then basically have a predictable way to follow up with them, and so on and so forth. I mean, we've had clients that have closed leads like 5-6 months later, just continuously following up with them, and it's just about finding that right time. There's no such thing as too much follow-up, right? Either they hang up on you, or either they start cussing or send you a text, please don't bug me again. Until they do that, feel free to follow up at least once every week or once every 2 weeks, so you can actually stay on top of mind. And they actually gave you the information, right? They already gave you the lead information, so they're wanting to hear back from you. So don't go with the version, well, I tried calling 3 times and I got no reply, so they probably ghosted. You will be surprised. I think Brian, the Coaching Contractor Life Academy, basically he was saying that they had a client that closed for 4 years later, basically just because of their follow-up process, and they were constantly following up with them. Yeah, so that's about it. Obviously, you can still expand this CRM. Obviously, you can add net profit there. You can add more data, right? Concerning link to the deal size, right? How much net did you make on this? What were your, margins, and so on and so forth. So it's very easy to expand on this. This is just like a foundation. Even if you just keep on doing the basics and you just follow the process for at least a year, you will be in such a great place. Just because physically you can't really track all of the leads that you would get in a year. It becomes very hard, right? Once you're dealing with 20-30 people at the same time, it's very, very hard to be able to have a predictable process, to follow up with them, know what person is and what they did and how they did it. Now this tool just makes it so much easier. You can just go in there, see who's the lead, see what's up, see who called you, put them in the system, and you're just up and running, right? So make sure that you track absolutely all of your leads, all of your interactions, and this is going to be a gold mine for your business.
Oh, before I forget, if you're watching this video on YouTube, you'll find the link to the tool in the video's description below. Also, if you want to build a long-term growth solution for your business, check us out at contractingempire.com. All right, let's win some more.